Our next phase of training will be fighting combinations from the fighting stance. In explaining the fighting stance, we're going to use just one line. In the fighting stance, our feet are much closer together than as opposed to the other basic stances. The ball of the front foot and the heel of the rear foot will be pointed at a 45-degree angle to your opponent. Your rear heel will be up, your back knee will be bent, your weight will be evenly distributed. Your chest will pull around to the side about a 45-degree angle. Your hands will be in a fighting posture. Generally the front hand high, the rear hand center. What we're going to work on first is a jab, reverse punch combination. Now, jab will always come from the front hand, just like so. From the elbow bent, just by shifting your balance to the front leg, twisting your wrist, all you're doing is a front hand jab. A little faster now, twisting the wrist, shifting the balance forward for momentum and power. Now, this time I'd like for you to bring your shoulder a little higher to provide coverage for your left jaw. Jab. Back, one more time. Jab. And back. The second combination will be the reverse punch. After the jab is completed, on the way back, we're twisting our hips, turning the body, punching out with the rear hand, doing a reverse punch. The left hand will cover the jaw and the forearm covering the rib cage. In combination with each other, slowly, left jab, turn the hip, reverse punch combination. Make sure that your shoulders turn, you get good maximum reach. Slowly again, jab, punch. You notice my left hand is covering my jaw, my forearm right here is covering my body. A little faster now. Jab, punch. Two more. Jab, punch. One more. Jab, reverse punch. And back. The second hand combination will be the back fist reverse punch. On the back fist, in slowing it down, hitting my opponent, my elbow will start coming up as I move forward. The back of the hand swings outward, striking with the back of the fist, striking with the back of the two foreknuckles, and bringing it back. One more time. Shift the balance, back fist, recoil it, and back. A little faster, moving, out, and back. And a little faster, out, and back. Now putting the reverse punch with it, same thing. Turn the hip and strike with the rear hand, doing the reverse punch. Back fist, reverse punch. A little faster now at normal speed. 1, 2, and back. 1, 2, and back. The third hand combination will be the ridge hand reverse punch. The front hand being the ridge hand. As we lean forward towards our opponent, elbow starting to come up, hands coming out, striking with the muscle between the thumb and the index finger, and hooking all the way across to the chest. Leaning forward, shoulders starting to come up, hitting, coming all the way to the chest. Slowly again. Now with a reverse punch. You'll notice that the body is moving, power is coming from the rotation of the hip and torque of the body. A little faster. Ridge hand and punch. One more time. And punch. There you have the 2 count hand combinations for yellow belt. The next fighting combinations will involve combination of hand and foot together, doing 2 counts. The first one will be a reverse punch going towards your face. The second technique will be a rear leg front kick or stepping front kick. You'll notice I come down a fighting posture, still on that straight line towards my opponent. Working the left hand, reverse punch, stepping front kick. Moving back now in combination with each other, punch, and then kick. Now with the left side, punch, kick. Always shifting your guard into a fighting stance. The next fighting combination will be using the back fist and the side kick in combination with each other. The back fist will be our lead-in technique. The side kick will be developing at the same time the back fist goes out. So you'll be sliding up your rear foot, side kicking on the recoil of your back fist. 1, you're sliding up the back foot and back fisting at the same time. 2, driving the side kick in. Now working in combination with each other a little better. Back fist and side kick. Back fist and side kick. The next fighting combination will be using the round kick and the ridge hand. First we'll be using the slide up round kick to make our opponent block. As they block, my hand is already chambered, striking through with the ridge hand. Slowly again, sliding up, round kick to the center. This hand is back, scoring with the ridge hand. A little faster. Across. One more time. And back. There you have 3 hand and foot fighting combinations. Now we're going to work on kicking combinations. This will be more than one kick in succession. From a fighting position, first of all, we're going to be working on the standing front kick, step through front kick. Standing is defensive position, so it'll be a front leg kick. Shifting the weight back to the rear leg, front kicking with the front leg. Moving towards our opponent, kicking with the rear leg. Once again, from the right side forward, standing front kick, step through front kick. And back. One more time. Standing front kick, step through front kick. Always make sure that your guard is up so you can block or counter punch. Standing front kick, step through front kick. And back. The second combination will be done with the right leg. It will be a step through front kick, slide up, side kick, and back. Once again, step through front kick. As soon as you put the foot down, slide up the back foot, keep the body in motion, slide up and side kick. Once again, a little faster, step through, slide up and down. Now in using the round kick, we'll work the standing phase and slide up phase. The standing phase always done with the front leg, balance shifts to the rear leg, standing round, slide up round. Once again, standing, slide, and back. One more time. Standing round, slide. One more time. Standing, and slide up. There you have some sample kicking combinations. Now I'm going to be working on the spin phases of the side kick and round kick. From a fighting position, the spin phase means that your rear leg will be the kicking leg, that you'll have to rotate your body a half turn. So when you spin, the knee comes up to the opposite side of the body, and then you deliver the kick from that position. Once again, the spin. You'll notice that my knee come up to the opposite side in preparation for the side kick. Now in delivering the side kick, once the knee gets to that position, that's when we shoot the kick out to the target. You notice I recoiled it back sharply so I could set the foot down in preparation for the next technique. Once again, spin, and then do the side kick. A little faster, the spin kick, and then set down the foot. The next kick will be the spin round kick. It's very similar to side kick, except the initial chamber position is a little different. The chamber position for the round kick will be the heel coming up next to the buttocks here. Instep will be the striking component of the foot, and down. Spin, chamber your left knee, raise the heel up, and you're ready for the round kick. Now deliver it at one speed. One common mistake on the spin phases of the kick is that people think totally about the legs and don't rotate the guard. You'll notice the position of my hands. When I spin, my rear hand will come forward as well for blocking or attacking. Then the rear leg will come forward, like so. So as you spin, rotate the guard, and then do the kick. The next kick I'm going to work on is the standing back kick. With your body facing away from your opponent. All you have to do is just be able to focus out of one eye to the rear. And all we're going to do is kick straight back with the left leg in this case. Instead of chambering the knee like the side and round kick, all you're going to do is bring the heel up and then straight back to the target like so. So don't worry about bringing the knee up to the side. Just bring the heel up, shoot it straight back. Once again, a little faster. One more. There you have the standing back kick and the three kick phases for purple belt. Now we're going to be working on some basic fighting combinations. First of all, probably the most important thing about fighting, or one of the most important things, is the footwork. So this time we're going to be covering a lot of different steps. We need some type of footwork to cover and alleviate distance between us and our opponent. So for the fighting position, the first footwork we'll be working on just a basic jab step. All you're going to do is lead forward towards your opponent with your front foot, take a short step, and then your back foot will slide right back up to maintain that same distance of your stance. Step and up. Step and up. Going backwards, it's the same thing. Your first move will be back with the rear foot. Your front foot slides back to maintain the same fighting stance. Step back and slide. Moving forward just a little faster. Stepping up and back. Now putting a technique with that, generally a jab step will put a front hand technique with it, such as a jab or a back fist. So I'll use a jab step with a front hand technique. The back foot will close up to maintain my stance as I recoil my jab back. Step and jab, back foot comes up. Jab, back foot comes up. From a defensive standpoint, stepping back, jab, front foot slides back. Step back, jab, front foot slides back. Jab, front foot slides back. This can apply with any front hand technique, such as a back fist or a ridge hand. The second footwork we'll be working on will be the lunge. From a fighting stance, a lunge covers just a little more distance than does the jab step. What you're going to do is pick up your front foot. As soon as your front foot leaves the surface of the floor, you'll push off with your rear foot. Lunging. It's important to not jump up vertically, but horizontally towards your target. Front foot picks up, push forward. Same thing going backwards. Pick up the rear foot, push off with your front foot and lunge back. Lunge back. Okay, once again, front foot picks up, push, and lunge. 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 Now lunging back. A good technique with a lunge would be a front hand back fist. From a fighting position, you'll lunge and strike. Lunge and strike. Moving backwards can do the same thing. The third type of footwork we're going to work on will be the slide up. From the fighting stance, the rear foot will move first. Your rear foot moves up to the heel of your front foot, then your front foot slides forward. Slide up the rear foot and out with the front foot. One more. Up and out. Now we'll be sliding back. Front foot moves first. Back foot slides back. Slide, back. Slide, back. A little faster just with the feet. Up and out. Up and out. Same thing going backwards. Front foot moving first. Now, the slide up footwork with a hand combination. As soon as the back foot slides up, we'll throw a front hand jab. As soon as the front foot or the left foot moves forward, we'll throw a right reverse punch. Slowly again, slide up, left jab. Step out, reverse punch. Slow, up jab, out, reverse punch. A little faster now. Rear foot, front hand moving at the same time. Front foot, rear hand moving. Stance, slide up, step out jab, and reverse punch. All at one speed now. Slide up, jab, punch. And 2. And back. The fourth type of footwork we're covering will be the step through. From a fighting position, this is where your rear foot steps past your front foot. Totally. And then maintaining a fighting stance from the opposite side. Rear foot stepping through, body's turning sideways. Stepping back, step back with the front foot, turn, fighting stance. Stepping through. You'll notice my guard shifts first as my body rotates. And back. Now a sample technique from the step through footwork could be a step through rear punch. So as you're stepping through, you may want to throw a rear punch. Same thing, going backwards, stepping back from a defensive standpoint. A little faster, step through rear punch. Moving backwards. There you have the 4 basic footwork and sample techniques for purple belt. Now we're going to put our fighting combinations together. At yellow belt level, we did fighting combinations in 2 count. Now working towards a purple belt, we're moving on towards 3 count combinations. The first series of techniques will be a 3 count hand blitz from a fighting position using the lunge step, lunge back fist, reverse punch. Once we reverse punch, step through with your right leg and half punch with the left hand. So working the 3 counts, we have a lunge back fist, reverse punch, step through punch. So what you have to do is think about the different types of footwork and the variation of the technique. A little faster. Lunge back fist, reverse punch, step through punch. One more time. The main thing is get set in a stance and fire forward. The second 3 count combination will be a hand and foot combination. This time we'll be working on the jab punch and with a rear leg front kick. We'll use the jab step that we covered earlier with a front hand jab. Reverse punch high and a rear leg front kick, the step through phase. Once you do this, maintain your fighting stance on the opposite side. Do it all over again. Jab step, front jab, reverse punch, front kick. The most common mistake is after you jab, punch, is that most people don't pull the hand back when they kick. They forget and leave the hand out there. What I want you to concentrate on is pull back the hand the same time that you're kicking. Jab, reverse punch, kick, down in a fighting position. The third 3 count combination will be all kicks. We'll be working on 3 basic kicks. Front, side, round. We'll be using the step through phase on all 3. Starting with the right leg back, right front kick, turning and twisting forward, left side kick, coming down, turning and twisting, spin round kick. So working front, side, round with the spin phase. Front, side, round, and up. Now I'll be doing all these 3 count combinations with my partner. Now working with my partner, that first 3 count hand blitz, working a lunge back fist. So I'm pushing off my rear foot, accelerating forward, striking with a back fist. The reverse punch will go underneath to the rib. And if he starts moving backwards, then I step through and score with a half punch to the body. Once again, the lunge back fist, the reverse punch, the step through punch. If you're not successful with the first, second technique, then move right on to the third. Now I'll do 2 times at regular speed. One more time, lunge back fist, reverse punch, step through half punch. The second 3 count combination was the jab punch front kick. The jab punch using the jab step will be delivered to the head, keeping the guard up. The third technique, the step through front kick, will be delivered to the body and coming down. Jab punch at the head, front kick at the body, and assume a fighting stance. Now 2 times at regular speed, and 1 more. The last one will be the 3 kick combination. We involve the front kick, side kick, round kick. Moving forward, front kick, turn, side kick, stepping down, spinning, round kick, either to the kidneys or to the head. Slowly again, step through front kick, spin side kick, spin round kick. Get a little faster now. And 1 more. There you have the fighting combinations. During this video series, I'll be working on fighting combinations of 4 counts from a fighting stance. The first technique we'll work on is the step jab, followed up with a reverse punch. You'll notice my left hand is covering my jaw area. From here, I'll be stepping through. On the midpoint of my step, my right hand is going to, in a circular fashion, execute a back knuckle to the side of the head, stepping on through, reverse punch to the body. So again, from the fighting position, the first move will be step jab, reverse punch, step back knuckle, and reverse punch. In 2 counts. Step jab, back knuckle and punch. Now putting them all together in 4 counts. And 1 more. Hi-ya! Now in working this combination with a partner, your first move, the step jab, will be towards the face. If my partner blocks it, I'll follow up with a reverse punch to the body. If he blocks that, I'll retract the right hand out and do a back knuckle strike to the side of the head. As he moves away from me, I step forward and score with a reverse punch to the body. Once again, step jab to the face, reverse punch to the body, back knuckle to the face, step reverse punch. All in 1 count. Hi-ya! And 1 more. Hi-ya! During this 4-count combination, I'll be working 2 hand techniques followed up with 2 kicking techniques from a fighting stance. The first hand technique will be a slide-up jab. I'll be using that as a fake. Step out with your left foot, reverse punch. Immediately follow up with the front kick. Turn your hip in preparation, left spin side kick. Recoil and come down. Once again, slide-up jab, step out punch, right front kick, left spin side, and down. In 1 count. Now with my partner, my first technique will be a slide-up jab. I use that as a fake. I step out, can score with a reverse punch. If he blocks it or moves back out of the way, front kick, spin, and side kick. Once again, slide-up jab, step out punch, front kick, side kick. Now fighting speed. Hi-ya! The third 4-count combination will be a hand technique, followed up with a kick, followed with 2 hand techniques. From a fighting posture, first will be a lunge back fist. Second, we'll slide up side kick. Followed up immediately with a back fist, hit a reverse punch. Fighting stance, lunge back fist, slide and side kick, back fist, and reverse punch. Once again. Hi-ya! Now with a partner, this 4-count combination. Lunge, back fist. If my partner moves away, I did the slide up side kick. If he's still away, back fist again, score with a reverse punch. Lunge, back fist, slide up side kick, back fist, and reverse punch. Now fighting speed. Hi-ya! During this phase of training, I'll be working on 5-count fighting combinations. Assume a fighting stance. First fighting combination will be left jab, reverse punch. Front kick, immediately on stepping down, right jab, reverse punch. With the right foot forward, right jab, reverse punch, left front kick, left jab, reverse punch. Once again. Jab punch, front, jab punch. Jab punch, front, jab punch. Once again. Hi-ya! Now working with a partner, the same 5-count combination. The jab punch will go towards the face. If my partner blocks, front kick to the body. Stepping down, jab, and another reverse punch. Once again, first 2 techniques go high, low, high. One more. Hi-ya! The second 5-count combination will be slide up jab, step out reverse punch. Step through back knuckle, reverse punch, front kick. Getting your body in motion, 4 hand techniques, follow with a kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. A little faster. Now working this 5-count combination with my partner. The slide up jab is used as a fake to draw my partner's guard up. The step out reverse punch is used to score. If he evades or blocks, pull out, back fist at the face, punch at the body. If he's still retreating backwards, front kick to the body for a score. Just a little faster. Alternating my techniques high and low to make my partner's guard or defense open up. Hi-ya! During the third 5-count combination, I'll be working on a lead-in back fist followed with a slide-up side kick. Immediately into a spinning back kick, following with a back knuckle and a reverse punch. Once again, back fist slide-up side kick, spinning back kick, back fist and punch. Hi-ya! And one more. Hi-ya! Working this 5-count combination with my partner, my back fist will be to the head, bringing the guard up. My slide-up side kick will be middle. My spin back kick will be middle. I'll follow with a back fist to the head, reverse punch to the body. And a little faster. Yeah! The fourth 5-count fighting combination will be a jab, slide up round kick. Left jab, reverse punch, spinning round kick. Once again, jab, slide up round kick, jab punch, spin round. Jab, round, 1, 2, spin round. And once again. Yeah! I'm working this 5-count combination. Jab to the face, slide up round kick to the body, jab punch to the face, spin round kick to the head. Once again, jab, slide up round, 1, 2, spin round kick to the head. Hi-ya! The first kick I'll be working on in this video series is the inside crescent kick from a fighting stance. The inside crescent kick is a semicircular kick going from an outward angle, angling in, striking the target. You notice that I recoiled, step back across. Once again, bringing the knee up at this angle, hitting here, recoiling here, and back across. Now applying the inside crescent kick with my partner. If the right leg is back, being the kicking leg, my target is my opponent's left jaw. From this position, coming across, always recoil and step back across. You'll notice my range. I can reach out and touch him with my hand. That's the ideal range for the crescent kicks. Now, when learning any kick, you should apply it to the focus pad for working power. Remember, power is going to be achieved by bringing the hip straight across. And one more. The next crescent kick will be the outside crescent kick. Using the rear leg to kick with, I'll be coming from this angle back across to this angle. Or on a clock principle, from 10 o'clock, making contact at 12, recoiling, coming back at 2. My body twist, my knee comes up, hooking across, recoil, and down. Now my left leg's coming forward. It'll come across at 2 o'clock, kick, recoil, and down. Once again. 3 more. A little faster. Now applying the outside crescent kick with my partner. Using the outside crescent kick, I'll be kicking the right jaw area. So my body twists, the knee will come up on this side of the body, striking and recoiling on this side of the body in a circular fashion. Now applying that into the focus pad. Your leg is back. The third crescent kick would be the spinning outside crescent kick from a fighting stance. The spinning outside has the same body movement and hip rotation as the spinning back kick. You're going to spin, look over your right shoulder, the right leg being the kicking leg. It will slide around and then do the circular motion. It's the same exactly as the outside crescent kick, except we're spinning a half turn. Now applying the spinning outside crescent kick with my partner. From a fighting position, pivot on the ball of the front foot, spin and kick. And one more. Now using the focus pad. The fourth crescent kick will be the jump spinning inside crescent kick. This kick will involve making a 360-degree turn in the air. The kicking leg will start out in front. The right leg, in this case, is my kicking leg. I'm going to concentrate on turning my body, one half turn, faking my left knee upward towards my target, hopping off the right foot and bringing the right leg around. The faster that you do it, the easier it is. So once you're going to spin, fake the left knee towards the opponent or the target, hop and bring the right leg around in an inside crescent kick. And one more. Now work on the jump spinning inside crescent with my partner. Fighting posture. Remember to fake the left knee towards your partner, hop off the instep, push up with the right leg, and bring the right leg around. Now with the pad. Now I'm working on the jump inside crescent kick from a fighting stance. In this position, I'll be faking my rear leg towards my opponent, hopping into the air, kicking with the right leg. This is our phase 2, jump inside crescent. Rear leg faking. One more. Now with the target. Now I'm working the phase 2 jump outside crescent kick. Left leg being the faking leg, right leg being the kicking leg. Now with the target. More. Now I'm working on the jump spinning outside crescent. From a fighting stance, I'll be jumping in the air, turning a half turn, kicking with my rear leg. Now with the pad. One more. The next jump kick requirement for green belt will be the phase 1 jump around kick. Now, phase 1 means jump up, springing off of both feet at the same time, kicking with the rear leg. Fighting posture, your push will be up, off of both feet at the same time, lifting. Turn the hip over and kick. And one more. Now I'll be working on the phase 1 jump front kick. From the fighting stance, same as a round kick. You'll push up, off of both feet at the same time. The rear leg is a kicking leg. Be sure to push out with the rear leg, forward with the hips. One more. The last jump kick will be the jump spinning back kick, phase 1. Once again, the footwork is the same as the round in the front. Jump up, springing off of both feet, this time turning. A half turn in the air, back kicking. You notice my back was facing away from the target after I kicked. One more. During this video series, I'll be introducing the double kicks. First, I'll be working on the double round kicks. For fighting posture, with your opponent in the on-guard position, I'll be doing a slide up or a lunge up, double round kick to the stomach. The second kick sometimes catches your opponent off guard when he's trying to counter-punch you off of your first kick. Once again. Now from here, you should vary the angles of attack. This time I'm going to go groin to solar plex, low to center. If he starts to drop his guard down to block that first kick, I rechamber and kick to the body. Once again. The next angle will be to the body, then up to the head. So if the first kick hits his guard, or he blocks it, or attempts to block it, I rechamber it, kick into the face. One more. This time I'm going to use it in a fighting combination. On my fighting combination, I'm going to do a jab, slide up double round kick, back fist, ridge hand, half punch. Jab, slide up round kick, back fist, ridge hand, under punch. Once more. Yeah! The next series of double kicks I'll be introducing is the round side combination. Once I do the first round kick to the body, if my opponent starts to counter punch me, I'll rechamber and side kick, catching him off balance. Right there on the second kick. Many times a fighter will come in right after the first kick, after they block it. You can catch him right open with that side kick. A little faster. And more. Now with a fighting combination with a follow-up. Hi-ya! Now with my right foot in front, I'm going to do a slide up back fist as a fake. Grabbing my partner's uniform, I'm going to do a sweep, taking him off balance, and scoring with a half punch or reverse punch. Slide up fake. As he goes to block it, grab, sweep, and punch. The sweep doesn't have to take him to the mat. As long as you unbalance your opponent, you're going to be able to score with the follow-up technique. A little faster. Hi-ya! One more. Hi-ya! During this fourth fighting combination, it's going to involve a jab, slide up outside crescent, overhand left, right half punch. My jab will be used as a fake. I'm throwing it to the body to bring my opponent's front guard down. As he goes down to block it, slide, kick to the head, overhand left, right uppercut. Once again, slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little faster. One more. Hi-ya! The blocking concept used in fighting an opponent who's delivering multiple combinations is different than the 5 basic blocks I've covered up to this point.
The 5 basic blocks, with the emphasis being on muscle tension and focus at the point of impact, as to use that block as a strike, is different than the fighting blocks. When someone is delivering multiple combinations of hand and feet, the emphasis has to be on relaxation and redirecting the attack and always looking for an opening in your opponent's defense. The first 2 blocks I'll be covering are the inward palm block and the backhand block. From a fighting stance on guard position, the inward palm block moves very, very little from its original starting position. Against a straight punch to my face, I'll be moving my left hand straight across, blocking the punch just to the outside of my body cavity and face. If a second punch comes to the face from the other side, all I do is move the hand straight back across, using the back of the hand to block with. So the inward palm block comes in. You'll notice my body twist, backhand block, and then I'm ready to set up for a counter punch or kick. Once again, inward palm block, turn the body, backhand block, and counter punch. Now with my partner, from an on-guard position, slowly, jab comes to my face, I redirect using the inward palm block just to the outside, just so it misses a fraction of an inch is all that's necessary. If the combination punch comes, I move the hand back, redirecting that punch out. Now I'm looking for an opening punch to the face or to the body. Against a jab, inward palm block. Against a reverse punch, backhand block and counter punch. One more time, inward palm block, backhand block, and counter punch. A little faster. Now these 2 blocks work well against the backhand strike as well. If the backhand strikes come to my face, I use the inward palm block. I also am set up for my counter punch to the body. Backhand to the face, inward palm block, counter punch. One more. Just move the body and punch. A little faster. Now if it comes to the other side, to the back of the head, use the backhand block. So as the back fist is delivered, use the backhand block. I also bring my head inside as to duck that punch, looking for an opening to the body. Backhand, backhand block, counter punch. A little faster. The next 2 fighting blocks I'm going to cover are the inward and outward forearm block. From the on-guard position, instead of moving the palm of the hand or the back of the hand down to block something coming to the stomach or rib cage area, but keeping your elbow and forearm in this position, all you have to do by twisting your body is just use the inside of the forearm right here to take the punch, to redirect it to the outside. If the second punch comes to your ribs, just move the body back, take it on the outside of the forearm here. So from here, inward forearm block, outward forearm block. Very similar to your basic move, which is your inside and outside forearm blocks. Turn the body, and you're set up for a counter punch. Now with my partner, if a punch or jab comes to my body towards my solar plex area, instead of bringing my hand down, I'll use the inside part of the forearm to block it in. Second punch comes to my rib, I just turn my waist back, use my forearm, the back of my forearm to block it out. Slowly, inside forearm block, outside forearm block. Inward block, outward block, and I'm set up for a counter. A little faster. The next 2 fighting blocks I'll be covering are the downward palm block and the outward palm block. First, the downward palm block will be used to direct an attack, a punch or kick, coming to my rib cage area, down towards the ground. Anything coming in a straight line, shift back, push down on the back of the arm or on the shin of the leg. The outward palm block will be used to redirect the attack to the outside, opening up my opponent's body for a counter punch or kick. So the outward palm block, bring the elbow down, and just scoop the hand to the outside. Reviewing those briefly, the downward palm block pushes straight down. Outward palm block scoops to the outside. Now with my partner, first of all against a reverse punch to the body. Slowly, when a punch comes straight in, using the downward palm block, I'll push down on the back of the hand, redirecting the force down to the ground. Punch comes, downward palm block, pushing the force of the punch down to the ground. Once more slow, pushing it down. Now a little faster. Now the outward palm block. As the punch comes into the same area, I'll come down. Instead of striking on top of the hand, I'll kind of wrap around the hand and move it to the outside. Down, outward palm block, scooping the hand to the outside. And one more. A little faster. Now we'll use both of those against the front kick. Slowly first. The front kick comes to the body, strike down on the top of the shin, driving the leg right back to the ground instead of letting it come into the body. Hitting it down. I also will slide my body back at the same time as to take my reach out of my opponent's reach. A little faster. Drive the kick to the ground. Now the outward palm block against the same kick. As the kick comes in, I'll wrap his leg and scoop it to the outside using the outward palm block. You'll notice that it will spin my opponent a little bit to the side, open up his upper body for a counter. A little faster, front kick. And one more. Now I'll be working on the crossover palm blocks. In case my rear hand is being used or I've thrown a punch, a simultaneous strike has come to my jaw area. It's the responsibility of the other hand to cross over and block. From the on-guard position, the left hand will cross all the way over, guarding the right side of my face. Inward palm block, crossing over, guarding here. A lot of times when you're attacking someone, they'll be attacking at the same time. So in some instances, to guard the opening, you have to cross over. Same thing works going with the right hand to the left side of the jaw. If this hand is being utilized, the right hand has to cross over, taking an attack. Generally, these are used against circular motions, such as ridge hands, round kicks, or spinning heel kicks. Crossover outside, like so. Now with a partner. Generally, these are used, as I said, like against ridge hands or round kicks. So from a fighting stance, if a ridge hand comes in in a circular motion. If this hand is being utilized, this hand has to cross over to trap that hand before it makes contact. So if this hand is guard and it comes deep, this one will cross over and block. More slow. Crossover palm block. And fast. Now, the same thing will be used against a round kick. If this hand is down, and the kick comes in this area, then we'll cross over and block. Now crossing over with my right hand to guard the left side of my jaw. If a ridge hand or a hooking punch comes this side and this hand is down, my right hand will cross over, guarding the left side of my face. A little faster. Same thing with the spinning round kick coming to the head. And one more.
I'm Chuck Norris, President of the United Fine Arts Federation. This is Danny Lane, who just completed a video series called Champion Karate Video. And I've viewed his instructional video, and I think it's probably one of the best on the market today. And that's the reason I'm endorsing it, because I think it will be a very good video for all karate systems and all different degrees of belts. So I would highly recommend you purchase Champion Karate Video Series. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Danny Lane and welcome to Champion Karate. During my 8-volume video series, I'll be taking you through the requirements from white belt through the 8 steps to becoming a black belt in the United Fighting Arts Federation. Before I begin, I'd like to recommend these following safety guidelines while using this training tape. Always consult a physician before engaging in a program of rigorous exercise. And consult a physician immediately if any persistent pain or swelling occurs during or after periods of training. Always train under the guidance of an experienced coach or instructor to ensure the most effective and safe training procedures and techniques. Children especially should be closely supervised while training. Always warm up adequately before each workout and begin each training session slowly, gradually increasing the speed and power of your punches and kicks. Never overtrain. Overdoing it could result in an injury due to fatigue or relaxed concentration. If an injury should occur, allow ample time for it to heal before resuming practice. During our self-defense techniques, we're going to be working on wrist flex. There are 4 different angles to flex an opponent's wrist. First, we'll be working on the outward wrist flex. Working with my partner's hands, as you can see, I'm going to be bringing my wrist across, inverting it, putting my thumb on the back of his hand, grabbing the palm of the hand with my fingers. When I twist it to the outside or outward, his palm will come up. I'll be putting pressure against his wrist, pushing against his forearm. At this point, I'll reinforce my grab with my other hand. My thumbs will be crossing. As I keep twisting to the outside, his wrist will lock, then his elbow will lock, then the shoulder will lock. Eventually, his body will go in that direction. Once again, very slow on the outward wrist flex. It's a right hand grab. Reach across with your left hand, thumb on back of the hand. Twist it towards him and up, pushing in the wrist against the forearm. Reinforcing your grab. you lose control. Be grabbing, stepping back with the left foot to unbalance my opponent, twisting, coming up, reinforcing my grab, taking him to the mat, driving a knee into the armpit, vicing his elbow between my legs. So again, from single hand grab, step, twist, knee, and vice. The second wrist flex will be the inward wrist flex. Taking my partner's hand once again. The left hand come across, thumb on top. This time just bring the right hand across, thumb on top. As you turn his right wrist inward, you'll see that his body's starting to go to the floor. The palm is up. The wrist is back against the forearm. At this point, I reinforce my grab again. My thumbs will be crossing. As I keep twisting, his elbow will lock, his shoulder will lock, and eventually his body is starting to feel the pressure. From there, the elbow will come on top of his elbow, flexing down into a self-defense move. Once again, real slow. Reach across with your right hand, thumb on back of his hand, twist up, reinforce your grab, keep twisting, keeping his hand close to your body, bringing your elbow on top, flexing your elbow in towards your ribs, and creating pressure down the elbow. Now a self-defense move using the inward wrist flex. From a grab, stepping back to unbalance your opponent, grab, twist, bring him down into a elbow lock. The third wrist flex will be the upward wrist flex. Grabbing my partner's hand, I'll be grabbing with both of my thumbs, crossing on top of his hand, just like in the other two previous wrist flex. I'll be pushing the wrist back against the forearm and pushing his wrist also towards his armpit, and then flexing up. You'll notice that my opponent comes off balance at that point. So again, grabbing, both thumbs on top, pushing the wrist in, driving the wrist towards the armpit. From a self-defense situation, somebody's grabbed your clothing or your belt area, grabbing the wrist, push the hand in towards your armpit. As they come off balance, you're going to step across with your left foot, bring the hand over the head, turn and throw. Then drive the knee into the armpit area, and you have an elbow-shoulder lock. The fourth wrist flex will be the downward wrist flex. As my opponent grabs me to the chest area, you'll use the same hand position as the outward wrist flex. I'm reaching across with my left hand, grabbing my partner's hand with my thumb on the back of his hand, and then grabbing the palm of his hand with my fingers. As I twist up, reinforcing my grab again, instead of twisting onto the outside as in the outward wrist flex, I'll step back, pushing the wrist against his forearm, bringing my opponent to the mat. Once again, slowly, reach across with the left hand, thumb on back, twist, step back and push up, bringing my opponent down to the mat. Once again, a little faster, stepping back as you grab, downward wrist flex. During this phase of training, we'll be working on self-defense movements. The first one will be against a grab from behind. The grab from behind, what you're going to do is step to the right, turn your neck to the side. At the same time, reach across, grab the attacking wrist, pull it away from your neck, drive an elbow to the solar plex. Stepping back, you're going to turn your opponent's wrist up. Step back, break or hyperextend his elbow over your shoulder. Once again, if grab, before you're pulled off balance, as you step, you're going to grab the hand and drive an elbow into the body. Step back and break. Once again, a little faster. Hi-ya! The second self-defense technique will be against a similar grab, except the opponent has your wrist. From this way, we're going to step to the left. Strike with the right elbow, spinning away, reversing the wrist, kicking to the stomach. So again, you grab from behind around the neck, then have your wrist, step left, elbow, spin and flex, kick to the body. And once more. Hi-ya! Hi-ya! During this phase of our mat work, I'll be working on the inside and outside sweeps. You're working with a partner in grappling range or close range. You'll be grabbing onto each other. First one will be the outside sweep or major sweep. My right leg is a sweeping leg. It's going to come around behind my partner's right leg. You'll notice my heel is behind the bend of his knee. I'll be driving my leg forward and up, pushing back on his chest at the same time. Once again, once we pull him in close, the leg comes around in a circular fashion. Your heel is high, driving his leg up into the air, pushing down with your upper body, taking them to the mat. A little faster. First thing is pull them in, get the distance. Second will be the sweep and push. And one more. The next one will be the outside sweep using the left leg. From a locked in position, pulling them in. You'll slide up your supporting foot. Your left leg is a sweeping leg. You'll see that I'm kicking in behind the bend of his knee, pulling his leg towards me between my legs. Once again, when you pull them in, slide up your supporting leg, your right leg, kick back, push straight back with your hands. They'll go into a back fall. A little faster. And one more. The last sweep will be the inside sweep. From a locked-in position or grappling range, I'll pull him in tight. My leg will go between his legs. I'll be going around behind the bend of his left knee, keeping my heel high, pulling his leg up, pushing straight back with the hands at the same time. Once again. And one more. During this phase of the mat training, we'll be working on the shoulder throw. First from behind. To approach from behind, what you're going to do first is reach up, grab the wrist with your left hand. Reach underneath their arm as far back as you can with your right hand, grab the clothing. Making sure that your feet's about shoulder distance apart. Squat down, drop your hips lower than their hips. Push up with the legs and hips at the same time. Bring your head towards your knee and pull them over. Okay, once again, slowly from behind. Grab. Drop your center down, lift up with your hips and legs. Pull them straight over. Once again. The second phase of shoulder throwing that we'll be working on is entering from a front position. If a punch is thrown, you'll be stepping across with your right foot, reaching under, stepping back, spinning into the same position. Once again, as a punch is thrown, you'll step across with your right foot, reach, stepping back with the left foot, dropping your hips lower, and throwing. A little faster this time. Step across, grab, bring them over the top. Once again. The second technique in our mat training will be a body drop. It's a version of the shoulder throw. So hand is around your neck or reaching behind. Grab the same way as you did in the shoulder throw, reaching back. Instead of this position, the squat position, with the feet shoulder distance apart, your right leg will be dropping back outside your opponent's leg. You'll notice that my knee is pressing in against his knee. What I'm going to be doing is pushing back with my right leg and pulling forward with the upper body at the same time. So as I'm lower, bringing them straight over. Once again, slow. Same position as the shoulder throw, except stepping outside with the right leg and back, dropping down a little lower, pushing back with your right knee against their foreleg, bringing them straight over. And once again. Now from a frontal attack, if blocking a punch, entering the same way. Reach it under and grab, step, spin, drop, and pull them over. And once more. During this phase of our self-defense training, I'm going to be showing a couple of the moves individually first, then putting them into combination with each other. First move I'll be working on is the frontal choke. And facing with my partner, what I'm going to do is reach in with my left hand, grab the shoulder, reach with my right hand, wrap around the neck, pull the neck down towards the ground, circle around his neck, and come up with my forearm bone right into his windpipe. Now to lock out into a choke from this point, what you have to do is bring your right hand all the way under and grasp your own hand on top of the wrist, bringing the forearm bone into his windpipe at that point, choking. Again, reaching, coming around, and choking. Like so. Once again, reach, reverse wrap, around and lock, and choke out. Now, once you get your opponent into the frontal choke, if he's starting to push you over or you're starting to lose balance, what we're going to do is work on the backward roll, throwing them at the same time. So once you have the person in this position, if they're starting to push you or make you fall backwards, you place your left hand right in the pit of their stomach, drop to your hips, kick your leg between their legs, and ride their momentum over, coming right back up on their chest. You can still secure the choke from here or set up, place their head down, and punch or strike. Now putting the front choke and the backward throw with a self-defense move. Against a frontal attack, a push, shove, or grab. Double spread block, grab, knee into the body. Push them back, grab the top of the hair, jump knee smash. From here, wrapping choke, then drop to your back and do your backward throw. Once again, just a little faster. Hi-ya! The second self-defense move will be against a bear hug from behind. You grab securely and your arms are trapped where you can't break the hold outside or go inside. What I suggest you do is first lower the center of gravity, drop into a low straddle leg stance. Try to maneuver around, twisting, getting your leg behind their leg. At this point, trying to raise up, drive your hip forward, spread back. They should fall straight back over your leg at that point, doing a spread out technique. Once again, slowly, drop down, grab their hands, maneuver around, behind, drive your hip forward, throw your arms straight back, and throw them straight to the mat. And one more time. Drop, turn, and throw. Another version, if grabbed from behind, is doing exactly the same thing. But sometimes when you get in this position, if you're not strong enough or the other person is a lot stronger than you and you can't break out of the hold at this point, I suggest you grab the pants legs, pull the feet forward, lift them up in the air, and then fall straight back on them if you have to. Once again, if you're grabbed, you maneuver around, get to this point, you can't break the hold, grab the pants, lift them up, drop back on them if you have to. One more. Grab, move, up. Yeah. The third self-defense technique will be the application of a forearm choke. By bringing your arm straight around the neck, you'll see that the forearm bone is in against the windpipe. From here, your other arm comes up. You'll be grabbing your own forearm or bicep at that point. This hand will go behind the neck, pressing the neck forward over top of your forearm bone, choking the person out at that point. Once again, real slow. Wrapping the arm right around the neck, striking the windpipe. Other arm comes into play, grabbing your bicep, pressing the head forward, and choking out at that point. Just a little faster. Now using the forearm choke in a self-defense situation. Against a push or grab, block out, grab, spin your opponent around, pull them off balance. Apply the choke at that point. If for some reason they start to pull away or get off balance, drive your hand to the base of their spine, push your hips forward, drop them down to the ground, and apply the choke from there. Once again, at regular speed. The fourth self-defense technique will involve a forearm and bicep choke. This is the third choke in this series of self-defense moves. By bringing your arm around the neck, what you're going to do is bring the bend of the elbow all the way to the windpipe, and then securing as in the other choke. The only thing is that when you flex the bicep and forearm muscle, it not only will cut off the air supply, but also the blood supply to the brain. This is one of the more vicious chokes that we use at this point. At the same time, you're pressing the neck forward with the opposite hand. Once again, slowly, coming around the neck, striking the windpipe, and then flexing the bicep and forearm, pushing forward on the head with the opposite hand, straight down, cutting off the air supply and the blood supply to the brain. Okay, from a standing position, this can be used many different ways from the front or rear, but we'll use it in a stalking type of sense. This is one of our military types of chokes. By grabbing the hair, pulling them off balance, coming straight around the neck, wrapping, grabbing, taking them right down to the ground, and then snapping the neck forward at that point. Once again, just a little faster. Grab, take them right straight down, and choke them out from that point. The first technique I'll cover during the mat work is what we call a back leg throw. I'm facing my partner. If you're being shoved or pushed or you're almost ready to go down on your back, instead of just letting them fall on top of you, what I advise doing, if they're shoving and you're going down anyway, is stick your foot right into the pit of the stomach and push straight over. I'll do it slow first. As I'm going down, place the foot right in the stomach, around the belly button, and then push straight over with your foot and your hands. Once again, a little faster, just with the leg throw. Now, another way to do this is by holding on. His momentum will carry you back up on his stomach. You'll end up on the chest, and you're able to continue to attack. The second technique I'll cover during the mat work is the windmill throw. If a person is running at you or trying to punch at you from a running distance, you could bend over, duck the punch, or block at the same time. From here, you go straight between the legs with your right hand, coming up between the legs, at the same time lifting up with your shoulders. It's very similar to a fireman's carry in a life-saving class. Now, using their speed of the run and their momentum, all you have to do is just go on over, and they'll fall behind you. During our self-defense program, I'll be working against an attacker with a knife. The first angle will be a downward strike or a stabbing position coming down to the head. In the first technique, these are relatively simple. You're going to step away from the knife or the thrust of the knife and do a high block. You notice on my high block I have my hand open because in knife fighting or knife defense you need to grab and do a lot of trapping. The second thing from here is we're going to come down at the bend of the elbow with the forearm bone, hitting and pushing back at the same time, creating a vise with my left and right hand. I'll come under and grab my own arm with my right hand. I have his arm vised. I'm going to take him down to the mat now by just turning left and putting some tension on the upper body. In this position, I still have him in a vice position. I'm going to grab the wrist with my left hand, bring my right hand out to reinforce my grab, bring his elbow over my knee to disarm the knife or break the elbow at this point. Now at regular speed. The second one I'll work on is from a downward strike once again. If the distance is a little closer than the last distance, in other words, if the stab comes down and I happen to be at this distance as opposed to my last distance, which I was out here, this technique seems to work a little better. If you're blocking straight up over your head, it's easier, instead of striking down like in the last technique, is to reach behind his arm and then come over and grab your own wrist at this point, creating a vise with your arms in this fashion. All you have to do is pull straight down, your opponent's leg will kick out, and go straight down to the mat. You'll still have him in a vice position. At this point, you can come straight back with the elbow break over the knee if necessary. Just a little faster position. The third knife defense against a downward strike, I'll be using a block with my right hand. I'll be flowing to the left. As the stab comes down, I'll use a forearm block. You'll notice my left hand will come up inside his arm and strike the bend of the elbow. At the same time, using a circular fashion, breaking the bend of the elbow loose so I can grab his wrist at this point, twist the knife back towards him if it doesn't disarm, and then return it right back into him. If at this point you still haven't disarmed the knife, put the elbow against your chest, come up into a wrist lock. Once again, just a little faster. Hit, turn, wrist lock, outside sweep. Another variation from a downward strike would be using the cross block. At any one point in these techniques, you could dislodge a knife, but it's better to overtrain than to run out of techniques. So there's many options in the self-defense move that you could have disarmed a knife or taken care of the situation. From the strike, first of all, I drop into a stance. You'll see my cross block. My right hand is over left. My hands are open. From the 12 o'clock position or straight overhead, you're going to use a circular motion with your hands to go to your right side. At this point, at the bottom of the circle, his hand will flow naturally right into your hands. Your grip will be just like this, thumbs crossed, striking the wrist. Coming on up to this level, push in on the wrist at this point. This is one place that you could dislodge a knife. At the same time, you'll be pushing them off balance. If the knife is still there, you can drive a kick right into the solar plex, stomach, or face. Bringing the right leg straight back out, step outside with your right foot. You'll bring his arm over your head and down. You'll notice I have his arm twisted and shoulder tucked. I'll bring my left leg across, dropping down, trapping his legs. As I continue to twist and torque here, his body will flip and go forward. From this position, you could push down on the wrist, dislodging the knife or breaking the wrist at this point against the ground. Now at regular speed from a ready stance. The next angle of attack from the knife I'll be working against is from a slashed position. Now, in working against angles, you have to work also high, center, and low, so the blocks may vary. In this position, the attack is coming towards my neck or upper body area. It's coming from the right side, so what I'm going to do is step in, do a double forearm block. You'll notice I'll be blocking at the wrist and at the bicep. Both of these points have pressure points where this could, if I block sharply, possibly could have dislodged the knife at that point. If not, my left hand is going to snake over. At the same time, my right hand is going to be striking the neck with my forearm. My left hand will come up and grab my own bicep. I'll have him in an elbow lock at this point. Let me enter once again for that. Blocking, snake under, wrist lock. If this position he still has a knife, you're still struggling, we'll use the left foot to cut back behind the bend of his right knee, right here in an outward sweep. It's important to go to the mat with your opponent to maintain control. Your knees can go one on his head and body. You still have him in a nice elbow lock at this point. If you flex forward or outward, you can dislodge a knife at that point. Now at regular speed. The second technique I'll work against the slash will be to the middle. The block I'll be using is called a general block. When I'm moving in, one arm will be low, one arm will be high. This will give me coverage all the way from the groin all the way to my head, in case I don't know exactly where the strike's coming. So as I see the strike coming to this side of my body, I'll step in. Either my left or my right arm should block that. In this case, both arms are touching. My right arm at the bicep, my left arm at the wrist. From this point, it's very similar to the downward strike position we used earlier. You're going to push up with your left hand. Your right arm is going to come behind and over, grabbing your own wrist. We use this technique in the second downward strike. From here, all you have to do is torque downward on the arm. Your opponent will go straight down to the mat at this point. You can either retain or let go and let them land on their back. Once again, a little faster. Against the third angle of a slash, this time will be coming around my belt or lower. As it comes in, if you don't have time to react, if you just turn your waist, even if your hands are down, bring your wrist straight across using a wrist block here. You'll notice that my wrist is hitting right where the nerve center is behind his wrist. So from here, if I hit just properly, you could dislodge a knife at that point, using this bone just behind your fist area. In working that, another variation of that, if the slash comes, continue to bring the arm up and over in a circular fashion, what we call a sling. What you're trying to do is to sling the knife off to the side or redirect the attack. We'll do that once again a little faster. Coming in, up, over, and sling the knife. Now once you practice that repeatedly for a long period of time, what you want to try to do at that point is, I'll do it slow first, is come over and block, continue to sling, and keeping your hand, the sensitivity of your hand against his arm at all times, continue to circle and flow up into this lock once again that we used earlier. From here, another variation of the throw. If you push down and push on the wrist, you could disarm. If not, then you'll step across with your left foot, bring the arm over, drop down on your knee, bring him down in front. If they still have the knife at this point, drop onto your hips, put your left foot right at his neck area, and twist and disarm at this point. Now regular speed. The third angle I'll work against is a reverse slash position. The strike can come straight from the side, or you can practice letting them miss with a slash and then entering. The first one I'll be defending against is a slash to the neck area. You'll notice that what I've done is step in once the knife passes by and comes back using a double forearm block. This arm will block at the elbow, the other one at the wrist. From here, one of the basic grips, you'll push up and go right in with your left hand grabbing your bicep, trapping the arm at this point, and just turning left right into your sweep. You'll notice by disarming, I can push up or pull up on the wrist and keep him tight at this point. Now what I suggest is practice just entering after the slash, or just entering and blocking using the double forearm block repeatedly before you attempt the second half of the technique. Make sure to enter and block. So you're stepping back initially and then lunging forward. Now a little faster. Disarm. The second angle will be a reverse slash to the lower portion of my body. We're going to use a general block once again. As the knife comes from the opposite side, step in, general block. You notice my right hand is high, my left hand is low. At the same time, pretending as if your arms are attached with a pin driving all the way through them. You'll grab with this hand and rotate this hand straight over in a circular fashion. Practice breaking the bend of the elbow down. From there, snake right through, reach between his arm with your hand into a shoulder lock. From this point, knee to the stomach, downward elbow, web hand to the throat, cut back with the heel behind the bend of his knee into a sweep. Now just a little faster. The fourth angle of knife defense will be against a thrust or a stab to the center. On this first block, we're going to use a double web block. What you'll be doing is crossing your thumbs, just putting your right hand on top of your left hand. You'll see that my thumbs are on top of each other to use a wide area of the hands. What we're going to do is push straight down and try to deflect the thrust straight down to the floor. At the same time, you'll notice I'm dropping my center down, or my feet are separating simultaneously at the same time. Once you get used to this, pushing down, you immediately grab the hand and go into your upward wrist flex. At this point, you can push in to try to disarm, or if you stay out, you'll be able to drive a front kick. Once again, thrusting, upward wrist flex. If you haven't disarmed, drive a front kick into the stomach. Now, any throw could be used here. At this point, we'll step across with the right foot again, drop down, use a circular aikido throw. Now working at full speed. Set, hit, The last technique I'll be working on, I'll be using a cross low block. If the thrust is coming straight in once again, dropping down, I'll be using the cross block as before when I use it against a downward strike. From here, immediately with your right hand, you'll grab the back of his hand. With your left hand, you'll push up, reinforcing your grip at the top of the circle. At this point, by continuing to flex, holding his hand in close to your chest, step over with your left leg. Make sure that your leg is against his head. From here, you have a shoulder lock. You can disarm by twisting. If for some reason he starts to get loose, you can get out of this position by spinning over the back with your right foot all the way around to here and finish him off with a front kick. Once again, just a little faster. Hit. Hit. The first gun technique I'll be working on is against a frontal attack. First of all, if the distance is right, the situation is right, and you've decided to try to defend yourself or disarm the person that has the gun, then I'm going to show you many different techniques that you can use. First of all, the gun is pointed to the center of your body, and once again, the distance has to be right if you're going to grab it with your hands in order to go for the weapon. The first technique I'll be working on, first of all, is if I move, there may not be enough time to move the feet, but you'll turn your body to the side. So if you can see me, as I turn my body to the side, if the weapon was to happen to go off, then hopefully it wouldn't hit me. At the same time, when you move, your left hand is going to come towards them and come back towards you, grabbing the top of the wrist with a palm hand. So what you need to practice is this move individually. Turning, hands coming back this way to grab the weapon and pull them off balance. You'll also notice my weapon, I'm using a wooden practice gun, and I fully advise using either a practice gun or a plastic weapon instead of a real gun in practicing these techniques. So once again, turning, grabbing, pulling them off balance. The weapon is all the time pointed away from you. At this point, come up from underneath, cross your thumbs into a wrist lock, twist the wrist back towards them. You'll notice the gun's pointed at his face. At this point, I'm going to be stepping back with my left foot into a nice wrist lock and a throw. You'll notice my knee goes right into the armpit, securing the arm, the shoulder, and the elbow, pushing down. With the right hand, I can take the weapon straight out. I also have him still in a wrist lock position at this point. Okay, go back just a little faster, breaking it down. The first thing is turn and grab. The second thing is come up, reinforce your grip, stepping back, twisting the weapon towards him at the same time, locking his wrist. Step back with the left foot and throw. Circle right around, knee into the armpit, push down, lock the elbow, take the weapon out at that point. Step back and control your opponent. Here's a faster look. And once more. The second disarming technique I'll work on is again against the frontal attack. What you're going to be doing here is, first of all, your left hand is going to be coming from an outward direction, striking the back of the wrist. At the same time, your right hand is pushing the weapon away from you. You'll notice I'm going to be pushing the weapon towards him, trapping his finger in at that point. Just a little faster. The whole secret of the technique is working the coordination of both hands. The body's going to be turning right at the same time. So the left hand's coming in, right hand's pushing. As the weapon circles towards him, I'm starting to step back, taking him off balance at the same time, taking him right to the mat. I still have his trigger finger, locked into the trigger housing there. I can either break the finger, take the weapon away, and step back and control. Now, advising you when you practice this at full speed, make sure that your partner's finger is not entrapped there, because it does break very easily. What we're going to be working on now is just the timing of the disarm. Taking back. A couple more times, a little faster. Once you make your move, it has to be total commitment into taking the weapon away. Once more. This disarming technique will be against an automatic weapon or a cylinder-operated weapon that's on single action. The reason that we train this way is because against an automatic weapon where the slide moves back and forward, or a cylinder-operated weapon that's in single action where the hammer only has to close forward, your reaction time is cut down almost in half. So what we're going to do during this disarming technique is practice a grab where we're grabbing the trigger finger from letting the weapon fire the first time. My right hand's going to be grabbing. As I turn my body, even if the weapon went off, to try to eliminate getting hit, my hand's going to be coming on the back of his wrist, as you see. My thumb is going to try to press against his index finger to keep him from having enough pressure to pull the trigger at that point. So what I advise doing is just hundreds or thousands of repetitions over a period of time, practicing grabbing the weapon at that point. All the time moving your body away. If it was the fire, then your hand still is not on top of the weapon to get injured. The second part of the technique is once the grab is secure, is we're going to come up underneath the weapon with a web hand, twist the weapon straight back towards them once again. If it does go off, then hopefully they'll get hit. From this point, stepping back, you'll see also that the trigger finger is entrapped here. You can break the trigger finger at that point. Your momentum stepping back will take them right down on their face. You can disarm at that point and control. Once again, real slow at this point. My turn and grab, my web hand, my flex, stepping back, pull them right on their face, either break the trigger finger, disarm, step away, and control. It's a little faster. This time the trigger finger will be out of there to eliminate any injury. This disarming technique will involve taking a weapon away when it's being held close to the body. Professionally trained people generally are taught to hold the gun in closer to the body to keep from having it taken away, which is what we're working against. What I like to do here, if it's pointed straight at my chest, is I'm going to dart at the same time turning my body to the side. So your step is forward with your left foot, but the body is turned sideways as to eliminate my body from the angle of the barrel. At this point, I'm going to push down or grab down on the wrist and push up with a web hand at this point, making the gun go back into the chest or neck area. So your step and grab is very, very important in this movement. From here, all you have to do is slide up with your right foot, cut back with an outside sweep. You still have the weapon pointed at them at that point. You can take the weapon away, step back and control. Once again, a little faster. This disarming technique will involve reacting at the same time the weapon is drawn or shortly thereafter. It will involve leaping from your original position to the side, going around the neck with a choke and a takedown and a spread out. The first move, as the weapon's being drawn, I'm going to be turning my body, leaping in the air, coming across the neck. At this point, coming around behind him. As I circle behind, you'll reach across with your other hand, pull the weapon back, drop him down to the ground. You'll use your thigh to disarm the weapon. From here, you have him in a choking position that we covered earlier. Now, just a little bit faster move by move. As soon as the weapon starts to come up, leap around the neck, circle behind, take him to the mat. From here, use your thigh to break the weapon away, secure the choke at that point. During this disarming technique, I'll be working on an attack from the rear. You can feel the weapon, fine, you know which technique to do. If not, you're going to have to turn to look. In this case, the weapon is in my lower back. I'm going to be turning left. At the same time, you'll see my left arm come around, blocking the weapon away from me. Immediately, my hand will then come up, creating a vice. At the same time, I'm stepping across with my right foot, coming under, grabbing, entering for a body drop or shoulder throw. A little slow once again. I feel the weapon. I look, turn at the same point, block the weapon away, vice, so he still can't use the weapon or point it at me or fire it. If it does, it's not pointed at me. Grab the forearm, enter, and throw. From this point, come right back over your knee, disarm the weapon, and control. Once again, a little faster. Now the same technique, but against the weapon being pointed at your back or back of your neck or your head area. When you turn this time, you're going to be using the center block or knife hand block. At that point, you'll wrap and grab, enter for your throw from this position. Now another disarming technique from the rear. This time, instead of turning left, I'll be moving right or outside my opponent's body. I'll be using a low block when I turn. So again, when I turn right, you'll see that my tricep of my right arm will move the weapon away from me. At that point, this hand comes up, pull straight back towards my body. You'll notice the angle of the weapon now is pointed at my opponent. From here, reach up with your left hand, twist the weapon away, take it out. So again, a little slower. Turn, parry, vice, disarm. Now continuing the counterattack, change the weapon to the other hand. You can strike at that point, reach up and grab the attacking hand, step back, take him to the mat, and control. Once again, just a little faster. One very similar to the last one we just completed is turning, blocking the same way, vicing the same way. But step on back with your left foot in a circular fashion. Pull them off balance at this point. From here you can take the weapon. You have them in a wrist lock at this point. Turn back to your left. You'll take them right back up on your back. You can circle around and have them in control. Once again, slow. Turning right. Parry. Vice. Step circle. Take them off balance at that point. Disarm. Reverse wrist flex. And control. Once again. Now from a side attack. The weapon is pointing to your side, in this case to my left side. What you're going to do is drop your head down, at the same time block up. Hitting down on the bend of his elbow with my ridge hand or forearm, breaking the elbow back, creating a vice. From this point, turn, step back with your left foot, unbalance him, take him to the ground. You can pin him down with your knees. You have him in an arm lock. Retain the grip with your left hand. Spread the arm out over your leg and take it out with your right hand. Once again, as soon as you react, drop down, block up, hit vice, take them down, spread the arm out, take the weapon away. And for a third time. Now gets the weapon pointed at your head. First of all, you have to move your head and block at the same time. From here, you could kick to the groin. What I'm going to do now is move behind my opponent. My left hand is grabbing his wrist. My right arm is grabbing behind. I duck under with my head using the leverage of my neck to create pressure on the elbow for the disarm at this point. Stepping behind into a wrist lock, sweep, take him down onto the mat. Once again, once you react, block out kick, grab behind with your right hand, use your head to create pressure on the elbow, step behind, wrist lock. From here, grab, use your right foot behind to bend to the right leg, take him down at this point. If the weapon still is in his hand, it's trapped behind his back. Just a little faster.